if you're a real estate investor who's wondered how many cold calls it takes to get a deal, you guys are going to want to tune into this episode. So we've got our guest, Karim, DealMachine customer. He's been cold calling for 6 years, actually, for real estate investors. So Karim, tell us about that journey, man. How did it all start 6 years ago? And can't wait to share what you've learned along the way starting your own business.
Yeah, definitely. First off, thank you so much for having me today. When it comes to cold calling, 6 years ago, I started working for another company that's doing cold calling. I just wanted to change my phone by then. Uh, and then I got invested in what's happening. I liked what's happening. I like talking about properties, understanding more about the real estate market. And boom, a couple months later, I was a team leader. A couple months later, I was an account manager. Then I was one of the board members who was handling the company. And I've seen a lot of stuff that could have been better and that could have been getting better results to real estate investors. And then that was when I thought maybe I'd start my own call calling company and start providing actual efficient leads to wholesalers and investors.
Got it. So what was the journey between working for a guy, getting promoted to manager, and then like starting your own company? Why did you do each of those steps?
Yeah. So first off, you remember by Corona, we had everyone homeschooled.
Yep.
Uh, Yeah, so that's when I had so much time on my hands, and I used to work as a freelancer by then, so I got more invested in working for a full-time cold caller, and that's when I thought I need to know more about what makes a good cold caller than a bad cold caller, how to get more leads. I started to analyze everything, and then once I put in the hard work, it was a couple of weeks later before I got promoted to a team leader, being responsible for a lot of other call callers, making sure they're meeting their targets, answering their questions, be there on time, listen to their calls, everything. And I really enjoyed it. I really liked the journey doing this. It was more of a challenge for me because in that specific company there was a lot of managers as a start. I wanted to be one of the best managers to get 100% production on each and every day. So I went the analytical route, and I love analysis. I love to analyze everything that's happening, and based on these analysis, I know what's my next steps. So by putting strategic plans and being analytical about it, this is how I got promoted to be an account manager, being responsible for about 100 call callers, five different teams with five different team leaders, and then by then I that was about 2 years into what I was doing, and I felt like there's a lot of stuff that could be done better, but I don't have the authority to do it, and it was like more of a um, the whole board had other views of what's happening and thought maybe that would be done differently, and it was never happening. We kept saying a lot of stuff could be happening, a lot of issues are going to be upcoming if we don't do that. It never happened. Issues happened, and then we were responsible to fix it. So that's when we thought I could start my own business doing everything right so that we don't have to face the same issues. Be proactive, dedicate some back end managers to the campaigns, have less call callers per team because that's gonna hire the efficiency. So a lot of stuff has changed since then, and it actually worked. I've been owning my own business now for about five years, 6 years, and it's been working crazy for my wholesalers. I mean, they're locking up 5, 6 contracts a month out of just two callers.
Wait, you said 5 or 6 contracts per month from two
For two
callers?
callers.
Two callers, yeah, that's true.
So how big is your team now? Your whole team?
For everyone, the call callers and everyone, we're about 50,
50. Okay. And then
50
you
employees.
made the team size smaller? Is that what you said?
No, we usually call callers are each and every I mean every 15, 20 callers are in one team. So one team leader would be responsible for 20, even sometimes 25, 30 call callers in other companies, which is too lot. This is a lot. You cannot dedicate time to 25 people a day and make sure everyone's is well educated, got everything that they need. So we went a smarter route. We got the team to be capped at 10 call callers max. So now each and every call caller will have more time from their manager, and they have more attention from their manager. And that actually shifted the individual performance for each and every employee that we had.
So who are the two cold callers that got 5 to 6 deals per month. Who's those two cold
Yeah,
callers?
so the way we do it is that we do it differently. We don't dedicate cold callers for real estate investors. So we have a big group of cold callers, multiple teams, and then we have a lot of clients that are waiting for leads. And instead of dedicating just one person to your campaign, if that person is not feeling okay today, if they're not in their top form, you're not gonna get your leads, right? So we usually smart shuffle people between campaigns so that we make sure all our clients are receiving their production by the end of the month.
Got it. Okay. So they jump in and fill if somebody's not doing well or feeling well, right? They kind of jump in and fill the gap.
No, none necessarily. I mean, if someone's not producing on that specific campaign, then we're just gonna swap it with a different person. I'll just give an example why if we wouldn't have a dedicated caller. If they're not feeling well, if they're not performing well, if something's up, if their computer is not working fine, then someone lost their production for the day. So it's the smarter way is to get whoever is producing today to log in on the missing campaigns so that we make sure all the clients by the end of the month are receiving full production. And when I told you two callers got 5-6 contracts a month, that's the average for two callers. It doesn't matter who the two callers are, everyone's as good. But just having two callers with us uh, resulted in getting 5-6 contracts by the end of the month. Because as I told you, we're averaging 17 leads to a contract, which is some PPC metrics, if you ask me. Um, so yeah, I mean, 17 leads to a contract, and then two callers. That would result in 5-6 contract, and that has been happening actually over the past couple of months, mainly the last quarter. We're even getting more than 25% of the leads that we're getting to be hot and flaming hot leads, or the bread and butter. What we do, like these are people who are willing to sell right away, who are willing to sell for a steep discount. They have a good motivation and they're looking to close, ASAP. So
Well, let's break down the numbers further. You said it takes 17, leads for a contract, but how many calls does it normally take to get 17 leads? Would you say?
yeah, so statistically speaking, every 200 calls that get connected to our callers is a lead. So you get to imagine if 200 calls are getting a lead, so multiply that by 17, 3,400 calls.
3,400 calls. That's pretty good. Yeah, I usually say at least 5,000 calls to somebody brand new that they
Yeah.
need to make, right? So that makes sense. And when you say they make 200, they have 200. You
Leads.
said 200 calls make a lead.
200, yeah. Well, usually our caller would average anywhere between 500 to 600 connects a day, or connected calls, and that would result in anywhere between 2 to 3 leads a day.
And the connected call means that somebody actually picked up and it was the right person, right?
Exactly. It's not a voicemail. It's not a wrong number. It's not do not call. It's the right person with the right address with the right parameters, and they picked up.
Got it.
What
Okay.
what kind of parameters are you looking for to actually make it a qualified lead? The reason I ask is sometimes we will do cold calling, and sometimes we get somebody they send us a lead, and then we call and find out, and they're like, "Well, yeah, we would sell it if you made us a full price offer." Is that a lead, or what different characteristics do you guys look for to qualify that?
Yeah, makes sense. So we do have two chunks of qualifications, right? The first thing is whenever we have a new client coming in trying to use our cold callers, we have them fill in a form that has all the questions about what's their buy box. So for us to get them the right leads that they're looking for, we need to understand their buy box. So we send them the form, they fill it in. It has all sort of questions about what property types are looking to buy, what specific areas, zip codes, cities, counties. Um, we also ask about their exit strategies. Do you mainly work in cash deals? Do you do innovations? Do you do sub two deals? Because that would help us, understand what they're
Yeah,
working on. Once we have
that's good.
this filled in, we actually have some qualifications. That's the campaign qualifications. We also have the quality qualifications, which means each and every lead that comes in gets asked a lot of questions, but only 4 pillars would say if this is a qualified lead or not. So these would be the asking price, the reason for selling or the motivation, how soon are they looking to close on their property, and the condition of the property. So if their asking price is below the market value, that's a good thing. If it's above market value, we wouldn't send the lead unless, of course, the wholesaler is working innovations. They think this deal could be working on retail price, And then the condition of the property, we don't want, if they're not working on innovations, we don't want to be sending them turnkey properties because there's nothing to negotiate about it. So that's another thing we take into consideration. And then the reason behind selling. Some people tell you, I'm just selling for cash. If we have someone who's just selling for cash, their asking price must be way below the market value. If they don't have an asking price and they're just selling for the cash, it's not an actual lead. There's no motivation there.
Yeah.
So we have lead temperatures, and that's how we classify our leads. We have the hot lead, flaming hot lead, warm lead, and cold lead. Cold lead is someone who's looking to close within 6 months from now. They might or might not have a very strong motivation. I'm sorry, they might or might not have a very have an asking price, but they must have a reason, because each and every lead that we send you should be someone who's interested. If they're not interested, there's an issue. And then a warm lead would be someone who's looking to close within 90 days from now. They have a good asking price, but it's just the closing timeline that's making it warm. And then the hot and flaming hot leads is anyone who's looking to close within 30 days, up to 30 days. Their asking price is for the hot lead, the asking price is at least 85% of this estimate. For the flaming hot lead, it's 75% of this estimate, which is actually good because that's not the ARV, that's just this estimate. Usually the ARV is a little bit higher than this estimate. And then the condition must be, it must need some work, because if there's no work to be done there, you as an acquisition, or whoever is the acquisition, cannot actually negotiate a lot about the property. The closing timeline, asking price, reason for selling, these would classify the lead from being hot, flaming hot, warm, or cold. So that's basically how we know if a lead is qualified or not. Besides, we also have a weekly meeting with any campaign that starts with us for at least the first month. And in these meetings, we usually discuss KPIs, how many calls were made, what's the connection ratio, how many voicemails, everything about the list, everything about the performance, how many leads have we got, how many of these leads were hot or flaming hot. And in these meetings, we always are looking for a feedback from the wholesaler or the acquisition who's working on the leads. Because if, God forbids, and for the first week we sent a lead that doesn't fit their criteria, that's how we know this lead doesn't fit your criteria. And then we start to avoid it and for upcoming leads. Or even if we got a lead that got closed as a deal on the first week, now we know what type of leads get close to that specific person in that specific market, and then we try to mimic them with the upcoming leads. So as I mentioned, it's all about analytics. We like to analyze everything that's happening. That would give us an idea how our next steps would be.
Yeah, I like that.
Do you use a script, or do you let them kind of carry the conversation naturally?
Yeah, so we do have a script, but I strictly tell them that the script is just a guideline.
Yeah.
We always want to have them having a conversation. We don't want to have them, reading out a script or sound very robotic. Actually, one of the things that we look for whenever we're hiring cold callers is how are they able to handle a conversation like a normal human being conversation, not just reading out some lines and so. So the script is there for them to know which points that we need to ask about, but they don't have to follow it word by word.
Got it. I'm curious, do you call all day long, or do you have specific times of the day that are most beneficial?
Yeah, well, we do work for we try to allocate our efforts to be in the most efficient hours a day. And that being said, we never call anyone from 8 a.m. till 11 a.m. These times, a lot of people would be calling in, and people would be just, starting their day, having their breakfast, going to work. They wouldn't be able to talk. They would just cuss you out if you try to buy their house at 8 a.m. So we usually start working by 11 a.m. till 8 p.m. because the highest connection ratios would be after 5 p.m. because everyone's done with work. They're, going home waiting for something. And the time between 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. is when we get the most leads.
Okay. And then how many lines does your dialer have that you like to use?
Well, a lot. It goes up to 20 something at the same time. We never use it up to that much calls being made at the same time, because that would consume a list in no time. But we do control it. It could go up to 20 something calls at the same time, or as low as three lines at the same time. So we never use it on the maximum capabilities, because that would burn the list. But it's possible. Our shift is super dynamic. We keep increasing the calls, decreasing the call speed, depending on how many connects are getting in, what's the wait time that's happening with the callers. So a lot of variables coming in. The shift is super
What's a
dynamic
good
when
wait
it comes
time?
to how many callers would be on the same campaign.
So what I'm asking is, your agent, if they're talking to somebody every 30 seconds, is that good or bad, or is that too long?
It really depends on how many callers are on the same campaign. So if it's just one person calling in Virginia, for example, and that person is one person is going to average about a minute and a half in wait time. But if you have two callers dialing the same list, each is going to have about a 1 minute between a call and another. If you have more than two callers on the same campaign, you can get the wait time to be as low as 10 seconds.
Wait time, are you referring to the amount of time the seller is waiting on hold for you to answer, or is that how long it takes to get connected to another live call?
Yeah, that's how much is it, they wait to get connected to another call.
Okay.
And because we usually have our callers getting connected to whoever picks up. We want to have them waiting on lines ringing
Yeah.
to, have
Good.
them the most efficient way is to get them talking to people all the time. So the
Yeah.
wait time is the time between one call and another.
So, yeah, the reason why I'm asking is because, in DealMachine, people are familiar with the single line dialer, and the contact rate's amazing. It's like 25%. The
Yeah.
numbers never show as spam, and for one person calling under 10,000 homeowners a month, I mean, it's really helpful. But if you have a lot of agents, then moving to that multi-line dialer, right, you're going to have a lower contact rate for the calls that they're making, but then the agents wait less time in between the calls. So it does, like, kind of quote unquote waste more data, as you said. It goes through data really fast, but then the benefit is you're actually, the agents are talking to someone every minute or so. So I just want to explain
Exactly.
the difference. And really, in my mind, if you're calling over 10,000 people in a month, it's good to switch to that multi-line dialer. Just export the data from DealMachine, which I think you do, right? Use DealMachine, I think, for the
We
data, right?
definitely do. Yeah, we use DealMachine. We love the diversity and filters in DealMachine because it's our part, since we're doing that on the behalf of our clients. It's our
Got it.
part to use all platforms and understand the difference between them. And to be honest, DealMachine has been the top one when it comes to diversity and filters, when it comes to filters that are not on any other platform.
What are the filters that you really like in DealMachine that are unique?
The best one that I love is, and that's like a tip that I'm gonna say out loud. The estimated repairs cost. This
Oh, really?
filter would
Interesting.
take your list, yeah, definitely. It would take your list from a normal list or a no motivation list to a super niche list.
How do you use it?
Yeah, so whenever I'm looking, let's say for example, I'm looking to put a list in Memphis, Tennessee, for example. So I want to be adding my parameters, my filters, like if I have a maximum value I want to add, the normal things, percentage of equity, length of ownership, and then after I'm done, all I need is like a 10,000 records or 20,000 records. And after I'm done, I have 60,000 records that are available. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be adding the filter of estimated repairs cost, so that I would filter just the top 10 or 20,000 records of the 60,000 available to be the ones that need the most repairs to their properties. And that's in the case of if this campaign is for like someone who's wholesales to fix and flippers. So in this case, you're getting all the properties, the top 10,000 or 20,000 properties that need the most repairs in that specific area, and then you're calling them. So you're getting the best of leads.
Amazing. So the bigger
Yeah,
repair costs is a bigger opportunity for you and your clients to make more money. So you get more efficient, generate the most profitable deals first by filtering for the properties with the biggest repair costs, right?
that's true. That's true.
Awesome. Man, I'm so glad you mentioned that. Any other filters like that that are really unique to DealMachine that you like?
Yeah, the building condition. Even though whenever it's used, it's marketing the properties that are in a very bad condition. That's another thing that we use. That I haven't seen in a lot of other platforms. Um, we also have that the differentiation between the tenant and the owner of the property. That's something that you wouldn't find in any other platform, just DealMachine. So and me mentioning that I'm using other platforms is because it's part of my job, and I do actually use the other platforms, and that's why I feel honest when I tell you, like, I really prefer DealMachine lists.
Yeah, well, I greatly appreciate it and totally get it. So it doesn't bother me, but appreciate you explaining. Cool. Anything that you would really like that maybe we don't have that we could work on for you?
Yeah, maybe start adding the. I know it's a little bit difficult with the county records and everything, but the fire damage properties uh is a filter that's not on DealMachine, and is something that a lot of people I know made tons of money calling fire damage properties.
Would that just some ideas? I've talked to some people that do fire restoration, and they typically will listen to the radio of the fire department with just like the local radio. I know
Yeah.
you maybe can't do that because you're not in your clients' markets, but if it's fire damage, then it would be vacant, right? Would it show up in the vacant list potentially?
Well, the surprising thing is it's not always vacant. Some properties would have some fire damage, and then the owners would still live there. And
Okay.
yeah, so it's not always under the vacant property. I know it's a bit odd, but it happens when you're talking to sellers all the day. You find weird stuff happening.
Well, I'm writing it down. Really appreciate you sharing that. We've got a list of things that we're working on. There's going to be a lot more filters coming, so I'm glad you like what we've put together already. Kareem,
Yep.
man, I really appreciate you sharing how you've grown, as a call center employee to being the manager, and then now owning your own company over 6 years. You've got 50 callers that are helping real estate investors, and wanted to say congrats for, actually starting to wholesale yourself. I think about doing your first deal pretty soon here. So we'll have to interview you again for your own wholesaling operation. So you
Yeah.
can tell us maybe why you decided to do that instead of just doing the call center.
Yeah, okay. So basically, doing the calling is because I've been in the real estate market. I've seen people struggling with getting the right leads. They could be the best acquisition ever there, and they're not getting the right leads. They're not closing any deals. So the most difficult part is finding the right leads, and then working a script, doing your acquisition part. I'm not saying it's easy as well. It's super difficult because I've tried to do this myself, but it's the most difficult part was finding the good leads. So I thought to myself, I know I have the capabilities to teach people how to get the right leads. Then why not take it to the next step and start wholesaling yourself? Especially with everything being super easy right now, done digitally, like virtually through DocuSign, through a virtual LLC, whatever it is. But I mean, it's way easier now than 2-3 years ago. So I thought to myself, why not notch it up a little bit, and maybe in a year or two you'd be interviewing me for having the biggest portfolio there.
Yeah, amazing. I'll look forward to that, man. And thank you so
Yeah,
much. Where can
definitely.
people find you online, your website or your social media?
Yeah, we have our website as leverage solutions. I don't know if that's gonna pop up anywhere, but I can leverage-solutions.com, or on Instagram you can find us on leverage-solutions.us.
Perfect. Well, thanks, Kareem, and we'll see you next time. Appreciate it.
Thanks, David. Thanks, Ryan. Have a good
You
one.
bet.
Thanks for listening to the Deal Machine Real Estate Investing Podcast. Please leave us a review and follow along wherever you're listening to your podcast.